Right.
We are the members of Do It or Die. D-I, D-I, D-I. Watch us make Bimbo as easy as pie. D-I, D-I, D-I. We are tough, you bet, filled with college pep. Bring him on, we cry. D-I, D-I, D-I. B-I-M-B-O. Bimbo.
This cartoon starts with "We are the members of Do It or Die," which is a reference to, I think, the Skull and Bone Society. You'll understand by the end of this programme what that line in the song meant when they said, "Watch us make Bimbo as easy as pie." Now, he's walking along carefree, whistling, and the cartoon starts with the fall of man, the fall from grace. Mickey Mouse makes an appearance. Now watch what happens. Now let me explain something to you very quickly. Your unconscious mind will understand everything that is associated with everything. Like he fell down a manhole. Take that word and split it apart. Yeah, manhole. You can get a sexual image from that. You can also see it as he's going down, which you can see as a sexual thing. Now, consciously you won't think of this, but your unconscious mind will tie together all associations with everything. Here, he falls down the hole and he gets spat out through a hole in the wall. You can make a sexual image out of that. The focus is on all these little demons wiggling their arse around, which is sexual. They're all holding these planks with a little spike on, which makes you think they're going to spank him, which is sexual. When they start asking him, "Wanna be a member, wanna be a member?" watch the hand signal of the one asking.
By the mystic order of the wanna be a member? Wanna be a member?
No.
Again, sexual. Now what you're looking at are the candles. The lights versus the candles. We are the lights, they are the candles. They're demons. These are the people that are supposedly the enlightened ones, the Illuminati. They're not. They're unilluminated. As you can see from the candles on their head, yeah, their light has been extinguished. Now what's going on is they're saying to him, "Wanna be a member, wanna be a member," because they need his consent. They want him to join the group, and then he will be assimilated into the group. But they can't do anything to him unless he says they can. You see, he has all the power. You have all the power. But what they start doing is influencing reality and manipulating reality around him to torment him, to torture him. Yeah, so he gets really scared. And they're trying to make him join. Watch. He says no. He gets sprung into another room. Now, I'm not going to go on about the Mandela effect and the Archons and all this sort of stuff. But what's happening is he is experiencing virtual reality illusions. He thinks that is an exit, but when he runs towards it, it's not.
There's the way out.
Here, this is very significant. What's going on is these demons, the candles, are being presented to you, yeah, as looking through a hole in the wall again, yeah, and they're watching him, yeah, like the world is a stage and we are just actors. This is where we get persona, yeah, the persona. It means actor's mask. Now, in a second, the camera zooms round to show you the hole in the wall that they're looking through, but there is no hole in the wall. What this is actually showing you is these entities are higher dimensional entities, and they can look in to the 3D reality from outside, which is the same sort of thing that you're seeing in Cabin in the Woods and in the Truman Show. Now, like everything in reality, you know, doctors destroy health, universities destroy education, religion destroys spirituality, all that sort of stuff. You know, the world's been turned upside down. And what happens? Out pops a demon and says, want to be a member, want to be a member, and again he rejects it. But when he rejects it, things start getting worse for him.
Want to be a member? Want to be a member?
No.
Again, it's focusing on his bum. You see, he could just sidestep this, but the more you move into the emotional and the reptilian brain, the worse your decision-making abilities become. You see, reality is conspiring to make things hard for him. Notice the skull and bones on the wall, and that sword could have killed him, but the point is, they can't kill him. They can't do anything unless he consents to it. Now, here's an example of how, when you move into the emotional brain, the reptilian brain, and you're in a state of survival, you're in fear mode, that your decision-making abilities seriously diminish. Apart from the fact that he could just move out of the way of this thing, he decides to pull out some scissors and cut it.
Oh, yeah, come on. Oh.
See, he's terrified now. Things are getting worse and worse and worse. And here he makes a really bad decision. But he survives.
Want to be a member? Want to be a member?
No.
Now, this is a very important scene. Again, he's rejected him. He said no, he doesn't want to be a member. Now, in this heightened state of emotion, in this fear, he's a nervous wreck. He's running for his life, demons are bothering him, the world is conspiring to kill him. And he's sprung into this room, and he's got 4 doors. Now, floating around the top of the ceiling are skulls and crossbones. So, in a heightened state of fear, he would be very suggestible. You understand? You see, when you want to install ideas into the mind via hypnotic suggestion, it's best to link them to a heightened state of emotion, which can be explained quite simply through neurolinguistic programming techniques called anchors. So he's now been directed to the first door with the skull and crossbones on it. And what happens is he opens the door, terrified, to see a full-length mirror reflecting himself. So he sees his own terror reflected within himself, and then his reflection takes on a life of its own, which would be scary, and tells him shush. So he sees himself giving himself the message of silence, and then he points himself to the next door. You see, now, after seeing that, that would be mind-shattering. He'd be terrified. And what does he do? He opens a door with a number 13 on. The number 13 is seen by most people as an unlucky number. So that would add to the fear. And what happens is, when he opens that door, after seeing himself reflected in the first one, if that was you, you'd again be expecting to open the door and see yourself reflected. Now, with that in mind, you open the second door, which is seen as an unlucky number, and there's a skeleton standing there. So again, you're faced with your own mortality. You see, so the reflection that he's now seeing in his mind is himself as a dead man. But the skeleton on the phone, look at this, right? He's on the phone. He'd be thinking, who the bloody hell's he talking to? But that's the message. He's talking to you. Yeah, and then skeleton makes it worse by making a joke saying, Here mate, I've got a bone to pick with you. Yeah?
Hello, May. I've got a bone to pick with you.
And that scares him. Here, the door with the question mark on. He turns around and he looks directly at the viewer and nods his head, no, don't ask questions, because this is a secret society. We are the members of Do It or Die, DI, DI, DI. Do not tell anyone anything. Do not ask any questions. Do as you're told. Do you see what I'm saying? So he's giving you the message, keep your mouth shut. Yeah, and then he skips over that and he goes to the door with the ink blot on it, or the splat or whatever it is, and watch what happens. He gets punched in the face, and then the thing that punched him in the face opened the correct door and showed him the way to go. So he's basically getting shown the correct path from the source of his abuse, which is basically what happens in the higher levels of masonry. They will lift the veil for you, they will wake you up, but you will undergo a lot of abuse, and you will have to abuse other people and all this sort of stuff. You get the point I'm trying to make, right? And now, what happens? He jumps on this contraption. The more he tries to get away, the more he gets spanked. Here we got the Masonic floor, and you can see that this is clearly water with all the fish that were jumping out of it. But what happens? Virtual reality illusions. Now here, Betty Boo makes an appearance, or Boop, or whatever her name is, and this, what she says, has a sexual connotation to it. She says, "Come inside, big boy." Well, I'll leave that to you to think about, right? But he is happy as Larry, and he runs over to the door.
Come inside, big boy.
What a pippin'.
She also gave him the sign of silence. Now, the door opens from left to right. Yeah? This is directing your subconscious mind to the left-hand path. And I'll explain why here. Here, he's shocked. He's shocked that the handle is on the right hand side. And as he goes to grab it, it moves over to the left. So all the doors, he has to go to the left and open them to the right. This is suggesting that the left is right. And again, the wall swallows him up, a hole in the wall. Everything's trying to kill him. He's scared. Now, I don't know what the significance of the spiral staircase in Freemasonry is. I think that we're supposed to be going up it. But there's something to do with 3, 5 and 7. Like I say, I don't know what it is, you'll have to look this up yourself. And I'm pretty sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He lands on 7 steps before he jumps. Here, he gets the head cut off of his shadow. He turns and faces his shadow. You see? This is symbolic of he needs to face his shadow, his dark side. Yeah? And then him and his dark side merge, they become one. Again, he's running. Now, this is the important part. He's passed all his tests. Yeah? He's passed all his initiation tests. But here, he gets trapped by a woman. He gives in to sexual immorality. Watch. He knew that she was a demon. He watched her shapeshift. Well, he watched it shapeshift. And suddenly, You want to be a member? He says yes. And what happens? The walls lift up, i.e. the veil has been lifted to reveal all the demons in higher dimensions. He's basically got out of the 3D physical world. He's now in the 5th dimension, where he's being watched by millions. And what happened? All the demons turned out to be Betty Boos. They turned out to be Bimbos. This is why at the beginning of the programme they said, watch us make Bimbo as easy as pie. He wasn't Bimbo until he became assimilated, but because he gave in to sexual immorality and was entrapped by a woman, the veil was lifted. He is now on the dark side under the black veil. He is assimilated into them. He has become a clone, as it were. He has become one of the demons, the candles. He now is Bimbo.